Because I am a Jew, I cannot think about religion and violence without thinking about anti-Semitism. Anti-Semitism is a threat to me and to my people, too often an existential threat. According to a recent poll, 1 of every 4 people on earth holds anti-Semitic attitudes. In the past few years alone, Jews were targeted in terrorist attacks in Paris, Overland Park, Kansas, Brussels, Copenhagen, Mumbai, Tel Aviv, and elsewhere. The WCC has spoken out against some of these attacks. In parts of Europe, Jews are scared to wear clothing that identifies them as Jews, lest they be attacked on the streets. Synagogues, Jewish schools, and communal institutions have to be protected by armed police. Jews are leaving Europe. The very fact that the future of Jews in Europe is debated underscores the fears that Jews feel. The internet is awash in anti-Jewish bile. Jews are blamed for killing Christ, controlling the media and the banks, seeking world domination. The denial of the Holocaust continues. Anti-Semitism in the guise of anti-Israel agitation is part of the problem. While some churches have taken great strides to eradicate it, anti-Semitic ideas are deeply embedded in the Christian imagination and continue to be expressed in teaching, preaching, and hymnody. Despite decades of biblical scholarship demonstrating that Jesus was an observant first-century Jew who loved his people, some Christians continue to teach that Judaism is particularistic, legalistic, and devoid of spiritual value. For example, for centuries, Christians have used negative stereotypes of Pharisees and by extension of Jews, for it is substantially from Pharisaic teaching that Rabbinic Judaism springs. Whenever Christians proclaim that Jesus' views concerning social justice are contrary to Jewish views grounded in Pharisaic teaching, they promote bad history and bad theology. In a word, anti-Semitism. The catalog of historic anti-Semitism ideas and images is still used by Christians in all parts of the world. This fosters an atmosphere in which Jews are demonized and seen as legitimate targets for hatred and violence. To its credit, the World Council of Churches has spoken often about its relationship to the Jewish people and about anti-Semitism. In 1948, long before the Vatican's Nostra Aetate, the WCC acknowledged a special relationship between Judaism and Christianity and repudiated anti-Semitism as sin against God and man. It has confessed the role of Christians in Christianity in the perpetuation and perpetration of anti-Semitism. Most recently, the appendix to the document on religion and violence includes a section on relations with Jews. In my view, it is insufficient. Nonetheless, it is hugely significant that the WCC continues to be concerned about Christian-Jewish relations. Yet the theological diversity of the WCC's member churches comes through. WCC documents are equivocal about the status of the Jewish covenant and whether Jews need Christ. They rarely delve into the nature of Jewish peoplehood, including the centrality of our connection to the land of Israel, something essential to Jewish self-understanding and identity. These documents also reflect an inability of the WCC to address the Jewish people's return to sovereignty in our ancestral homeland, our indigenous homeland, other than as a challenge or a problem. While Israel's problems are legion, its founding was and remains for the vast majority of Jews a moment of joy, a source of pride, and a reason to give thanks to God. So the WCC seeks positive relations with the Jewish community, encourages dialogue, and rejects anti-Semitism. But it has not explored, let alone resolved, all aspects of the Jewish-Christian relationship, nor has it internalized in practice what it has preached. The WCC has come a long way. It deserves credit for what it has accomplished. That work remains to be done should not surprise anyone. No institution is perfect. There is opportunity for learning and for reconciliation. My experience with the WCC reflects this complexity. In Busan, the WCC extended warm and gracious hospitality to me. The interreligious area of the exhibition hall was welcoming and busy. I addressed the plenary and received an ovation. Our Jewish-Christian meetings have been respectful and conversations deep, at times addressing the very problems I am raising now. I feel that I have developed personal friendships with the wonderful people I have met. However, classic Christian anti-Judaism is still found in the WCC. In 1982, the WCC, in Ecumenical Considerations on Jewish-Christian Dialogue, warns of distorting the controversies between Jesus and the Pharisees lest they become weapons in anti-Jewish polemics. And yet in 2009, the Statement on Just Finance and the Economy of Life provides a prayer that asks Christians to confess, "We have displayed the Pharisees' arrogance." The WCC's 2010 Living Letters to Visit to Australia states, "We challenge these unjust and racist structures and systems and question the Australian lawmakers about how they conduct their business, just as Jesus questioned the Pharisees and lawmakers of his time." Intentional or not, the lessons are that Pharisees and therefore Jews are arrogant, unjust, and racist. It is especially vexing when it enters the discussion of the Israeli-Palestinian conflict. One example is the Kairos Palestine document, often cited by WCC. Kairos Palestine is tragically flawed. Its genuine and legitimate cry for justice is mixed with historical distortions and worse, theological anti-Semitism. Its treatment of the universal mission of the land is built on the supersessionist idea that the Jews' particular connection to the land was abrogated by the coming of Christ. The WCC's silence on this is disturbing. Equally disturbing for Jews is the sense that the WCC views the Israeli-Palestinian conflict in binary terms. Israel has more power, therefore Israel is completely responsible. For example, in 2011, the WCC decried the persistence of the continuing dispossession of Palestinian people from their land by Israeli occupation. Fair enough, but nowhere does it mention Israel's real concerns about regional stability: Iran, Hamas, Hezbollah, Syria, terrorism, or Arab rejectionism. Let me be clear, it is not only legitimate, but it is essential to critique Israeli policy, and no one does it better than Israelis or Jews. But to do so without an honest assessment of the broader context is irresponsible and unfair. I experienced this unbalanced hostility in Busan on several occasions and felt it particularly strongly during the meeting in Beit Jala of the reference group to the Pilgrimage of Justice and Peace, to which I am an interfaith observer. The program was predictably one-sided. Had Claire Amos not seen that 3 Israeli Jews were on the program, the reference group would have heard only Palestinian voices. 2 different WCC leaders admitted that while they visit Palestine regularly, they had never spent time in Israel. I have to wonder to what extent the persistence of anti-Semitism predetermines and distorts the WCC's approach to this conflict. I wonder how much the presence of anti-Semitism in the WCC contributes to global anti-Semitism, which has real-world implications for me and my people. Perhaps this is what the reference group had in mind when it recommended to the Central Committee critical reflections on key terminology, including anti-Semitism and Zionism. These are complex, moral, theological, and political challenges. They will only be resolved by continuing to address them among yourselves and in conversation with us. You have been on this pilgrimage of justice and peace to and with the Jewish people since 1948. I pray that you will continue to pursue it. Oseh shalom bimromav, hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu va'al kol Yisrael va'al kol yoshvei tevel v'imru amen. May the one who makes peace on high send peace to us, to all Israel, to all humanity, and let us say, Amen.